Hey guys, this is Paul with VHScollector.com, and I'm going to attempt a Blu-ray review finally. So when I saw my last video that I uploaded, I saw the color fluctuating in and out and the focus, and I have this camera set on autofocus just because I didn't want to deal with trying to figure it out. I just wanted to shoot the video, but I noticed in the editing it was quite annoying. I will eventually figure that out, and hopefully that won't happen, although I don't think you guys are really watching these videos for any sort of production value, certainly. But we are going to review a movie that I already reviewed many moons ago on VHS. Actually, I reviewed it almost 11 years ago or something like that, which is kind of crazy to think about. It's the 11th Commandment on Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome. I reviewed it as Body Count on VHS from Forum Home Video. I'd never think that this movie would end up on Blu-ray, certainly. Would never have thought that in a million years. This is the type of movie you would watch once and then just kind of forget about it, maybe. It was kind of memorable to me. I kind of liked the main character. He's kind of cool, but I wouldn't watch it again. This is a clear sign that Vinegar Syndrome is really scraping the bottom of the barrel. Listen, I love Vinegar Syndrome. I've been an annual subscriber for the past 3 years, although actually the first half of this year I wasn't because of the rut I was in. So I totally support them, but I'm a straight shooter, try to be forward with you guys, and certainly it just seems like a lot of the titles that they're releasing now are just sort of the breadcrumbs that have been left behind. So this is an MGM movie. You've already had Code Red and Arrow in the MGM archives, in the MGM film vault. What more could be left in there that's really of any significance? Stuff like this, right? I mean, if Code Red or Arrow didn't pick it up, or some other boutique label, it can't be really all that great. So it's gotten to a point where Vinegar Syndrome is just looking for titles to fill up their monthly lineup, basically. And this just happens to be one of them. But it was kind of interesting in a nostalgic way to see how this film would look on Blu-ray, since I had reviewed it so many years ago on VHS. Now, when I found this movie on VHS, it was because of the title, Body Count. And there's also a Deodato film by the same name, which is a sort of woods, in the woods type slasher. And so I was really looking for that movie at the time, and I came across this, and it's not your typical sort of slasher movie. I'm not even sure I would really describe it as a slasher. Even in my original VHS review, I'm kind of confused on how to describe it. I did refer to it as a soap opera, and what's kind of interesting is that so did Vinegar Syndrome on the description on the back. They kind of also describe it as a soap opera. I imagine in their research of this movie, they must have came across my review. Although that could just also be a coincidence that they also called it a slasher soap opera. But, yeah, so it was, let's see, restored in 2K from its 35mm interpositive. So it seems like Vinegar Syndrome is only going to do 4K transfers of movies they have the negatives to, which makes sense. Why won't MGM give up the negative for a movie like this that has just been sitting there rotting? Don't they want a 4K master archival digital version of this movie? Just let Vinegar Syndrome do it. No, they're gonna just be totally old school and only give them the interpositive. Interpositives were normally created to, strike release prints from and home video prints from, and I mean, I just don't understand why they wouldn't just give up the negative to just, have someone else do all the dirty work. That's just the way it goes, I guess. I'm not really going to dig in too deep into the plot of this movie. I don't think it's necessary. I want this to be a true Blu-ray review. I don't want to delve too deep into the movie, because you could watch my VHS review. It's kind of funny, I was watching that VHS review before I sat down to do this. And man, those old reviews are quite embarrassing to see. I was a lot thinner then. I had a very boyish voice. I don't know, maybe I still do. But anyway, I think I've honed my VHS reviewing skills since then, although I haven't made one in a while. So with Vinegar Syndrome, of course, we are getting a slipcase, or slipcover as some people call it, or most people call it, a slipcover, not a slipcase. I'm so used to calling it a slipcase because that's what I call VHS covers. But yeah, they're doing this treatment for everything now, right? It used to be a lot of fun collecting all these Vinegar Syndrome releases, but now they're making slipcovers for other companies, and they're really muddling their catalog by doing that. Just being honest. I'm not going to come down on them for making money or expanding, the distribution network by making covers for other people. The movies aren't just about these slipcovers. But that's basically what they are doing for the diehard fans. I think they just announced a pre-order for Limbo, which is a shot-on-video experimental film, and it has the slipcover. It's from Afgha. Why? Why? I don't know. Not saying there's no audience for that movie, but it just, now they're just making slipcovers to make releases more attractive. Really, how many people are actually going to be excited to watch that movie? I can't imagine many. But anyway, I used to try to collect all of these, but now I'm not going to. I'll get the ones that come monthly from my annual subscription, but the movie looks pretty good from what I've seen. It does have an interview from Bernard White, I think he is. His name is. That's this guy here. What's really interesting is that this is not even a shot from the movie. He only wears this priest outfit while he's in the hospital, and he never kills people while wearing it, I don't remember. And he has a totally different haircut. I don't know where this image comes from, this promotional image. It might be I think they got like stills, like a stills gallery on the Blu-ray, which I didn't watch. So maybe it's in there somewhere. But he has a totally different haircut, different outfit throughout the movie. I don't know about that. Again, with these slipcovers, it's my opinion that the slipcovers should always have different artwork than the main sleeve, right? So this is the reverse. This is, I guess, what they call it, the B-side of the sleeve. This is adapted from the VHS cover, which had the original title Body Count. Why didn't they keep the Body Count title, which belongs on this cover art? They've done it with previous releases. I remember Hollywood Horror House, which they released not too long ago. And I was shocked to see that it had that unicorn video cover art of the severed head and the bloody lettering of Savage Intruder with that title. I was excited. I thought that was awesome that they did it because they don't always actually use the really cool video cover art on the reverse. This, they used the video cover art, but they did not keep the original video title. Not the original film title, but the original video title, which was Body Count. I think most people have probably seen this movie under that title of Body Count. So they're very inconsistent, Vinegar Syndrome. They can't decide, what to do. I think maybe that they just couldn't retouch up the Body Count logo, and they already had this text made, and it's all just drop that text. Like, they don't really put a lot of thought into this stuff, I don't think. Just look at the menus. They've been using the same menu template for the past, 5 years. No one ever complains about it. And it's amazing that companies like Code Red will have legit menus most of the time. Some of them are shoddy. But pretty decent menus with, animations of lightning bolts and all kinds of pretty cool stuff on some of those menu designs for Code Red. But Vinegar Syndrome just doesn't care about menu design. They use all bold block letters, and they'll loop the title card. And dude, man, you guys gotta up your game. That's just laziness, in my opinion. Again, people are gonna crucify me for speaking my mind and giving my honest opinion. Especially the cultists out there, people who will not say, who believe these labels are perfect. They might call me a troll, but I've been supporting Vinegar Syndrome for a long time. I love their releases. It's just, I think they could be better. So, make it 110%. Do decent menus. I hate when menus actually use the opening music of the movie in the menu. I hate that because it spoils the movie. It also spoils the beginning of the movie when you loop the title card in the menu. You're spoiling the movie. So let's say you put the movie into your Blu-ray player. The menu pops up, you got the music, you got the title card looping over and over again. So you're listening to this introduction music over and over again. You're going to the kitchen. You're getting your cookies and milk like I do, or some people go and grab a beer. You finally start the movie, and it's just the same music you've just been listening to for the past 2 minutes. You spoiled the beginning of the movie. So am I the only person that's bothered by that? So many companies do that. They use that introduction music. Just imagine, here's a great example. Just imagine, that title card for Silent Night, Deadly Night. It starts with that very innocent singing by a child. And this is Silent Night, and just splashes that blood. That's awesome. Could you imagine that being spoiled by Vinegar Syndrome, by them looping that? They'd spoil the shock of that blood splattering onto the screen with that title card. It's just laziness. It's not that hard to put something decent together. Even if they have like a still frame with like the logo in the corner or something, I'd be happy with that. But don't just keep looping a clip. It just seems so stupid. Alright, so I kind of went on a rant there. But that's something that's always bothered me with Vinegar Syndrome, is that they just don't do anything extra for that. Also, I think I mentioned that I think that Vinegar Syndrome should have artwork unique to the slipcover. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Because on this one, well, I've already reversed it, but this artwork is also the A side of this cover sleeve. You should really have something unique for your dedicated fans who get these slipcovers. Just my opinion. Again, some people don't care about the slipcovers, that's cool. But if you're gonna go, out of your way to make these things, make them special, make them unique. And sometimes they do, and here's a case where they just don't. Alright, so what could we say about this? So, we're getting 2 interviews. We're getting an interview by the main lead in this movie, which was kind of cool. This guy's got a long beard now, and he looks nothing like he did in the movie. He clearly loved making this movie. And also an interview by the woman who played the little girl. Deborah, I think her name was. So the movie looks pretty good. I mean, it's not as sharp as I'd like it to be. I kind of fell asleep during watching it, not gonna lie, guys. I hope there are people out there that would actually enjoy this. But like I said, Vinegar Syndrome is just sweeping up the breadcrumbs that are left over by everyone else who pillaged the MGM vaults. Why did I say MGA? I should also say that because these are MGM movies, they now have this silly little warning in the beginning about copying the movie, about, the opinions of those being interviewed and blah, 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 all that stupid legal stuff. And I guess that's because this is an MGM movie. Maybe they require that from those who license their movies. Or maybe Vinegar Syndrome would be terrified at a major corporation like MGM suing them over what's, some nobody said in an interview for a movie nobody cares about. But crazier things have happened. I hate those friggin' introductions. Before the menu starts on the Blu-ray. I wish people had more balls to not put that on there. But, it might be a requirement by those who license out the movies. So, yeah, the 11th Commandment. I wonder if this has ever been released in theaters. It seems like a TV movie. I really don't know what the distribution history of this other than it being on home video. Body Count is certainly a more interesting name than the 11th Commandment. But, yeah, that's the 11th Commandment. This has been Paul with VHSCollector.com. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.